bottle and threw it in the trash can like that. So they're just a little trying to disrespect and just, you know, I don't know if they're my socks or his socks, because some of his socks and my socks are the same and they shouldn't, you know, so I'm not too sure. But we know we found some socks in the thing, and we asked him what's going on with that, and he just, I didn't have no toilet paper. And there was toilet paper in the bathroom, he just gave it just to me. Because I finally got him to say, well, why'd you do that? Did you do it because you're mad, or you trying to be mean, or what's going on? Yeah, I just gave it to me, and he said, just because I was mad. What are you mad about? What are you so mad about? What are you so pissed off about? You're not really mad about. You got plenty of love. Everybody's got you equally. Everybody's treated equally. So there's no reason for you to be mad. Be jealous.
So why is he jealous of his kids? Is it treated equally?
I have no idea. When we see me get really close to the baby, I'm really close with the baby. To me, that's my son. So I'm really close with him. I love Stevie. I love him all the same. I'm close with Stevie more. That's because when I got sick, she was pregnant. So she didn't have him, and I was there when he was born. I was there with all the stuff that he went through. He was a premature baby. He wanted to eat, I got to eat free, stuff like that. So I just really attached to Stella. I love them all the same. Of course, I treat them all the same. I love them all the same, but it's me, that's my baby. That's, to me, I consider him my little baby. So I think maybe he gets jealous of that a little bit. I'm telling you not to be jealous of me, because I love you just the same, and I'm going to treat you the same. I try to teach him, I try to show him, I try to do a lot of things I could. I want to learn and try to learn and do that. Mine could learn so much, and I can show you so much in the book. You just, you want to learn, and you just want to be close-minded. You just be willing to allow it. I guess a lot of interest, I don't know, man. Sometimes you can tell me that you hear voices, and I tell you hear voices. Yeah, I hear voices talking to me, or I hear, he's told me a few times, we heard Rizzo talking to him, and I don't know, at school, I don't know, see that 25, that he said something about killing himself, because he was angry at school, I don't know, just stuff that we couldn't understand. We were just trying, I was trying to figure out what was going on with him, but I was like, I can't, I don't understand this, so we're going to need to take him to get help, just to get an evaluation and figure out what's going on with him.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, if you say definitely you were running level 3 after she called you back home and said, hey, something's wrong with my home, definitely level 3. Does it show that you guys, the people called until like almost 4 something? Yeah, 4 something. So what happened with that time?
Was it 4 something?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Was that long? It didn't seem like that. It didn't seem like it was that long.
He's under 4:30. It was like 4:40, 4:50, something.
Are you serious? I don't even know. I must have not checked the time. I don't even know, because maybe I was thinking the time was different. I wasn't even paying attention to the time when she called me and what happened. So.
But she called you on herself. So definitely you received it there, right?
You should be on herself, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I brought my phone, so I freaked out.
So, okay. But you went to Ed's, no detours, you didn't stop anywhere, did nothing, and you were there around 20 minutes. Because you can tell that between 20 minutes and 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
20 minutes, maybe half an hour.
Right. Right, still there's a lot of time that's not accounted for. Your wife, how is she with Omaree?
There's no relationship.
Is there a discipline issue where you think she punishes too extremely?
No, not at all. She's good with all the kids, actually. She's real calm most of the time. She raises her breast once in a very while, you know. My wife is real sick. She got a lot of time going on with him, I was trying to make him to respond to me. I got him to respond to me a little bit, just like that, and like basically just a few things, and that was about it. And then, like I said, it just everything went so fast, but I don't even know. It just I can't really remember pinpoint anything like that. I tried to get him in the shower to respond to us, couldn't get him to respond. We took him to the bed. So we got him in the bedroom, and that's when I was trying to do in the air. I was trying to do CPR. I know it looked like to me he was still breathing, and I could still hear him. I put oxygen on him also. I forgot that. I could tell you that. I put oxygen on her because she has an oxygen machine, so I put the oxygen on her.
And was it already on her and you took off the body or what?
No. I just turned the machine on and put it on her.
So it wasn't on your way to that?
No.
Okay. Okay, so when did you do that? When did you do that? Did you take your shower, then do that, or before?
It was after I put him in the shower and tried to wake him up a little bit, and when he wasn't really responding, and I took him back to the room. That's when I told her, put the oxygen on, you need oxygen, so I put it on.
And where did you put it? Because I saw the little things, those two little, those things, so did you put those in his nose, or did you what?
No, I did.
Okay, you did. And then you put it behind his ears too, or just?
Yeah.
Okay, you put it behind his ears. And did you see any difference?
Not really. Not really.
Okay. Okay, and did it do the chest compression, or did you do the chest compressions before you get the oxygen?
I believe what he was, I think he still had the oxygen on while he was breathing, I believe.
Wow, you did one.
Huh?
When you did one?
When I was doing the chest compression and mainly trying to breathe in his mouth.
In his mouth, okay. Oh, okay. What is that burn on his chest? What's that? Tell me about that incident.
What's that?
There's a burn, circular burn on his chest area.
Oh, it was playing around and I was smoking and using the bathroom and we were messing around and venting around or something. And I told him, hey, why are you doing back there? Come on, hurry up. Let's go back into the room. Come back here with us. So I walked in the hallway, and the hallway was dark, and the lights at the end of the hallway. I'm smoking a cigarette, and he comes running out. And it's dark here, I turn off the light in the bathroom, he comes running out, and he ran into my cigarette. It was an accident.
Okay. And did you look at it after you collided? Did you look at him, see if he was okay?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, we put some cream on it, and we made sure everything was all right. It just looked like it was a little bit red, because he just barely bumped into me. And when he hit me, the cigarette was still lit actually, and just it dropped a little bit of the cigarette, the tip of it or whatever the fuck. So he did that, we took him into the room, I said, he ran into me, he was saying his cheek, oh, my chest, he said, my chest. I said, what happened? He said, I burned myself, and I said, well, I didn't think I burned him. I thought, because he had his clothes on, we just got home, he was using the restroom, so I thought maybe I just hit his jacket or something. But then when I seen it, it was just a little red mark right there, so we put some cream on it, antibiotic cream or something like that. And then after that, I told him, is it still bothering you? Is it burning you? Are you okay? He said, I feel okay better now. It's fine now, so.
Okay. So did he have clothes on when you ran into him?
Yeah.
How did he get to his skin? Or did it burn a hole through the jacket, through the shirt?
I'm not even sure if he got a hold of the shirt or what.
Well, I mean, because it's down here, something like the shirt would be up here, it would cover it.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess whatever he was wearing like a low-cut shirt that day, I think, what it was, like a V-neck. So when he ran into me, he just hit with the cigarette, it was an accident. That's all it was.
And was it just one burn, or was it multiple burns?
No, it was just one, from what I see.
How many times has that occurred, where you've accidentally bumped into him?
That's it.
Just the one?
When you came home, where by the horse was Omaree, like, you say he was by the?
Right by the back door, where the horse is right by the back door. Omaree was laying actually right, okay, here's the horse, here's the back door. Okay, and Omaree was laying like, kind of like right here, right next to the horse, she had it right there. So that's when I went and helped her with him to pick him up. She said, was he not responding to me? I don't know what's wrong with him. She kept saying, Omaree. I said, Omaree, are you okay? Omaree, what's wrong? Talk to me. Daddy's here. Daddy's here, are you okay? And he was just like, oh, and he's like, before we fall back, and then he'd be like, I pick him up, and I try standing with him or sitting down on the floor with him or whatever, I was trying to hold him up. So I was making sure that he was okay. And he just kept like, he would look at me for a minute and then he'd go back again with his head, like tilt his head back and just, so I was holding him, that's when I said, okay, we gotta go take him, let's take him in the shower and see if we can, the cold water will make him snap out of it. And I told her what happened, she said he fouled the horse and he just hit pretty hard. So we took him to the shower, like I said, I held him up, turned the water on, and maybe like a couple minutes, a minute or two, whatever, in the shower. But then we couldn't really get too much of a response, and that's when I wheeled him back into the room. And I started trying to do CPR on him, put the oxygen on him. And just, everything was just, like I said, my mind was spinning so fast, everybody was screaming and crying, and I was just freaking out. I tried to do the best I could, I just, I tried to do that.
Maybe you can draw, like where the horse was, like compared to the bed and that, and then where Omaree was. Facing this way, towards the back door?
Actually, the back of the horse is at the back door, and it's facing towards, okay, look. When you walk into our room right here, our bed is like this, okay, and then over here is the back door, and we have the horse facing like this. The horse is facing like, its face is facing towards our TV, like facing towards our TV. Okay, so it's going like this. Here's our bed, here's the back door. Inside here, and then Omaree was right next to it. Right between our bed and the horse. Our horse in the bed is actually kind of a little bit far away from each other. He was like right there, right by where the back door of the horse was right next to it. He was right there, exactly right there by it.
And is that where he fell? I mean, that's where he was when he fell off the horse?
When you slow down, that's where he was at when I went inside. Right there. She was trying to get him to come to.
And she didn't say anything about having moved him or anything?
She moved him right there. Maybe she might have moved him a little bit away from the horse, trying to pick him up or stuff like that, but he was more or less right there. I didn't even really ask her if she moved him or anything like that. I was just trying to see if I can get her to come to, that's what my main concern.
Well, what about your hand? Did you guys get to fight and punch some things? What the?
No, my hands are fine.
Well, they're swollen, they're obviously swollen, but I'm just wondering if you punched something or?
No, I didn't touch anything, you can look at them and see that, there's nothing on them, there'd be some marks on them.
Yeah. Okay. But why are they swollen?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
They get like that from time to time.
Have they been like that all day?
Pretty much. When I woke up, when I wake up, I have bad circulation in my hands.
What do you think happened to Omaree's head?
I have no idea. Like I said, from what I understand, they were both playing on a horse, and she said he fell off pretty hard. That's the only thing that I know. That's the only thing I can think of. She wouldn't lie to me,
One of the things that we run into sometimes in situations like this is people kind of freak out. When the kid gets hurt, people freak out because they think that when it comes time to explain what happened, that people aren't going to believe them, people aren't going to believe the truth about what happened. So they try and say these other things that they think explain the injuries. And said, we're in the Crimes Against Children unit. And
You've been doing this a long time, and I'm sure you know what you're doing.
yeah, well, and one of the things is that because the unit involves looking into things that happen to kids, we have all kinds of resources. I mean, we get resources thrown at us because, you know, people care about what happens with kids. And, you know, we have resources like the criminalistics, the crime lab. We have access to interviewers that specialize in talking to kids about things like this. They train to talk to kids about physical abuse, about sexual abuse, and we have access to, in fact, I think your wife mentioned it, to CART. It's a Child Abuse Response Team at UNMH. These doctors, they've got tons of experience, you know, looking at injuries, seeing what probably caused them, and that kind of thing. And basically what those resources give us is we always find out what really happened. And that's the bottom line. And one of the key things is the forensic interviews that the kids go through. When those interviews are done, they're done by, they're not cops that interview kids, they're not counselors, they're just people that are trained on how to talk to kids and how to get the truth out of children. And when those interviews are done, the interviewers can basically tell us that kid was lying, that kid was exaggerating a little bit, or the kid's telling the truth. And we basically know at the end if that kid told us the truth. And when the interview's done, that interview and what the interviewer tells us is basically gold. I mean, what they say is gold. And so we put all that stuff together, and in the end we determine what really happened, because, you know, injuries are looked at by the doctors, and what we like to do, what we like to make sure when we're talking to parents is we like to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to tell us what happened, but then to also make sure that you understand that it's important to say what really happened. And, you know, we've been doing this so long that we've heard everything. And there are things that, you know, parents at first, or people that aren't exposed to this kind of thing, they think nobody's ever going to believe that this happened. It's just too unbelievable. But we've heard the unbelievable. And we've been able to show that, well, yeah, that's what happened. And the parents are like, I never thought you would believe it. That's why I didn't say it to begin with. And, you know, in this case, the explanation doesn't fit Omaree's injuries. So what we can do now, before, you know, it gets too far along, is we'll give you the opportunity to explain what really happened. And we can go from there, rather than trying to come up with an explanation that just really doesn't fit. You know, we're not too far into this where you can't tell us, okay, this is what happened. This is what really happened. I don't think that, I don't think you guys are abusive parents. it's not like you guys have like this ideal situation at home, you know, like they have on TV or whatever, where all the kids are well behaved and everything happens in order and everything's nice and smooth. Special needs kids like Omaree are difficult to handle, and it's understandable. People understand how people can lose their cool with kids, and they get frustrated with kids. I mean, anybody understands, even people that don't have kids understand that kids are frustrating, even kids that don't have special needs. So people are understanding about that. People say, yeah, I understand how somebody can get frustrated with their kid. And it's a normal thing that people get frustrated. And you know, that's one of the reasons I'm saying we're not too far into this where, you know, we can kind of backtrack a little bit and we can go back over what, you know, really happened. I don't think, like I said, I don't think either one of us really think that you guys are abusive parents. You're parents that come, you know, you're caring. I mean, just from talking to you this short little bit, it's obvious that you care about your kids. So my guess is this is more of a one-time thing where something happened, Omaree just took it too far somehow. And it initiated something, some kind of a reaction. So let's talk about that. Was it a one-time thing, or is this something that maybe we need to look at like more? There's more of an abusive pattern here, or is this like a one-time thing that happened today where Omaree got hurt because somebody got frustrated?
As far as I know, what happened and what happened, what I told you guys.
But the thing is, Steve, it's not, because it doesn't fit. And the thing is, I can tell you that even when we don't have everything back yet, I know that the explanation you guys are giving doesn't fit. And it's one of those things where we're talking now, and it's more of an opportunity for you to just come out and tell the truth, because it helps people understand that, well, yeah, he is a good dad. He's telling the truth about what happened, and he wants to make things right. It's just, I can tell you for sure, there's no way that explanation fits. And the doctors tell us the same thing. We learned those forensic interviews because your other kids were interviewed today. So, you know, some of this stuff we already know, and that's why it's really important at this point for you to take advantage of the opportunity to just say the truth. As difficult as it is to talk about, it has to be done. they straight up say something completely different, even though you know for a fact that they did it, they broke that lamp or whatever. If they come to you and say, yeah, this is what happened, you know, and they're truthful, you're more understanding. And you say, okay, well, I can see what you're saying. You were upset about something, and you went tearing through the house, and you broke it by, you know, whatever. It's more, you can understand better. And it's the same thing in cases like this. People understand when they have an explanation for what happened. It's when they're asked to believe something that they know doesn't fit. That's when people don't understand, and they're not as open, you know, to the explanation. So, you know, we need to know from you, I mean, if you are willing to give the explanation, I can tell you that people are going to be more understanding. Like, okay, I understand where he got frustrated, because a kid pooping in the trash can would put most people over the top. It's like that, you know, a kid pissing against the walls. Most parents are just going to go completely over the top of that. And you guys deal with that on kind of a more consistent level. It happens more often. So people are going to understand that. You know, they're going to understand your level of frustration. But it has to come from you. The true explanation has to come from you, for them to be able to understand that.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
And you know, like I said, I mean, I understand it's difficult to talk about, but it's like kind of taking off a Band-Aid. You know, you just do it quick and get it out on the table and get it off your chest. So what actually happened today?
I don't actually know, to be honest with you, because I wasn't in the room when it happened. I was in the restroom.
Okay.
And I heard Cynthia getting upset, yelling at him. And I guess he was running around, trying to get away from her, draining the horse. And she kept telling him to calm down, to relax. And he wouldn't listen. I heard her have to get on his ass. I don't know if she spanked him or not, I think she did. I wasn't really paying attention, I was in the restroom at the time, I just got up. So I was using the restroom, what I usually do every morning, I go home, I use it. Number two, and I sit in there, and I just can hear them arguing, I can hear her getting upset, and I just kept telling her, hey, relax, just calm down. So I could hear her getting upset, more and more and more and more, and I just told her to calm down. And then I heard her to just relax for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, I was getting out, I came out of the bathroom when I was done. And I told her, what's wrong? And she said, Omaree was training my horse, he fell off the horse, I don't know what's wrong with him. And I'm like, what? Are you sure? What's wrong? You like freaking out here. He was like I said, he was actually really named by the horse where I said he was. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I think, I don't know if she got mad at him and spanked him or what happened, and then he just tried to run from her or whatever happened. I couldn't honestly tell you because I wasn't in the room, I was in the restroom when this happened. I know she got upset with him, I know she was angry with him, I know she got down, and then I heard, well, why you see him stop, I'll promise him to stop. And then I just keep trying to calm down, I said, yo, just stop yelling, I'm trying to use the restroom, I can't focus in here, you're over here screaming, and everybody's screaming, the kids were yelling, and I don't know what happened, I really don't, I know she got upset, I know she's begged him. I don't know after that, I really don't know, I wasn't there, I was being honest to God, I wasn't there. I heard God is my witness, I was not in the room, I was in the restroom.
Which restroom were you in? There's two, right?
Yeah, it's my bathroom. The one that's right where the laundry room is at, or the
The
washroom.
real one or the?
The little one, not where the bathroom's at, the little one. That's my restroom, I always go in that restroom. I could see shit, I was getting upset.
And what time was this?
I told her, look, I'm crying, I'll probably cry.
So what happened this whole time after you found out that he was unresponsive? What did you guys do for those, what, two hours?
Yeah, it was 2 hours. I was trying to help him bring him back. We were trying to bring him back. To conscience, like I said, he would come in and out of it, in and out of it. Then he'd go back out of it. And then he said, like I said, he said daddy a few times to me. He would open his eyes for a minute, and then he'd lay his head back again. So and in the morning, he's played with us before in the past, you know, and he's done stuff like this. We get mad at him, we spank him, whatever, he plays the part, he acts like he's all, like from his medication, he's like this, so I didn't know really what was going on. I was just, like I said, I was freaking out literally because I didn't know what the heck was going on and what had happened. And my wife was freaking out, she was crying, the baby was crying. And I'm like, come on, man, I was in the restroom, he's in the restroom, what happened here, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know, we won't wake her up, he's out of consciousness, he fell off the horse, and she tried to tell me that. The person, were you getting mad at him, what were you yelling at him right here for? Because he had pee on himself, but I didn't do nothing to him, all I did was spank him a few times, and that was it. So I don't really know what happened. Yes, I didn't leave the house, I was there when that happened, but I was in the restroom. I was in the restroom. It was fine when I went to the restroom, and I heard her arguing, her arguing, and when I came out, that's what it was right there by the horse. She said that he had got on the horse, and she had spanked him a few times, he down from her, I guess he jumped off the horse. And he was, playing for a minute, and I guess he was fine for a minute. And then she said that he was rocking on the horse, and then he fell off and hit himself. And I told her, well, how come you just go out? Okay, what's going on? You would think if he just fell off the horse, he would be this out of it. So
So you didn't even know her story?
I didn't even know what was going on.
But she told you, hey, he fell off the horse, and you didn't believe that. I mean, you saw how high it was, you thought that was not possible either, right?
It didn't seem like it, yeah, I really did.
Did she give you any explanation?
No, she didn't. She was just freaking out. I mean, what do I do? What do I do? I was just running around the house just like, I don't know. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I said, call the ambulance. She said, I need to call somebody to come get the kids first. And I said, well, call me. I'll see if I can get Omaree back. That's when I was trying to work on it. Like I said, I was giving her the best, giving her the compulsion. He didn't want to come back. So I said, okay. He doesn't want to snap out of it. Like I said, he can come in and out of it a little bit. So that's when I said, okay, well, I picked him up and I said, let's take him to the shower. I remember, I think she picked him up and carried him to the shower. And when she went there, I followed her back there and I helped her pick him up because he was just still like he was just, he didn't want to get up, he didn't want to get up. He was like down, he was still making his head down. And I told him, why don't you get up, stand up. Picked him up, I turned the cold water on him. And I moved over, both holding him. I was outside the shower room. And we were both holding him. A little while, it was for a minute, it was only like maybe a minute or two. And then we took him and I said,
Where was Cynthia?
she was right there with me.
In the shower or?
I don't remember if she was, I think she might have been in the shower holding him.
Okay.
Yeah. She was we can't get her to respond. We need to call 911. She said, I don't know what happened, I don't know what I did, I think I hit him too hard or whatever, but.
Did she have something in her hand when she hit him?
I said, if I was here, when I said, when I got all the doctor, I wasn't about to for like about 15, maybe 20 minutes. When I got all the doctor, already moved up by the horse on the floor, unresponsive. I responded a little bit here and there throughout that little bit of a time span. I was there or whatever too, but I wouldn't call down there. I didn't think it was honestly that long. I really didn't. I thought it maybe like 20, 30 minutes at the most. Heck, because of her injuries, her head's always hurting. But we've never ever had to really spank our kids, honestly. Every once in a great while we do, you know. But it's nothing major, you know. It's just like regular on the bottom or, you know, other than that, that's all it is. It's nothing more than that. It never has been.
Well, given what you've said now, that, you know, you were in the house when it happened, and, you know, obviously, we talked with your wife too, but what do you think the kids told the interviewer happened? What do you think their version of what happened would be?
Okay, the babies?
Yeah.
Maybe I understand what you're talking about.
I mean, what do you think they would tell them happened?
That mommy just got around with Omaree was spanking him. That's all I can do.
Sure, no children want to say I would like to say two things. You tell, instruct the children not to say certain things.
Yeah. Do you need some water or a bathroom break or anything?
If you can get a smoke. I'm gonna be honest with you guys too. I'm still a junkie, man. That's why my hands are like this. And I'll say it right now. I'm starting to feel really shady right now. I'm on heroin, but I do it. I don't do it alone. I do it by myself in the bathroom. You know, nobody knows that I do it. She knows kind of that I mess around here and there. She gets mad at me, but I do it very discreetly.
Yeah, I guess you have to carry it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoons, spoons, way out.
No, there's nothing there. There was just, I used to just have one little thing, and I would use it, and then I throw it away. I go get cookers from what you call it, sharps, I have my sharps card. So I go get my cookers and stuff from the center right down the car out there, the state police place. The sharps thing, you can use to exchange my needle and cookers and stuff like that.
When was the last time you did it?
It was, this morning actually when I was in the bathroom. That's why I was in there so long. I was actually trying to use the restroom too, but listen, at the same time I was trying to get loud. So I was, like I said, when I woke up, maybe between 12 and 1, say somewhere around there.
And so do you do it once a day, twice a day?
I'm not really, my habit is really not too bad anymore. I'm just actually getting ready to get because we're getting ready to buy a house. And for the new year, that was my goal, to get us into a new home for us and the children, and to keep this stuff. I already had all my kit, I already had everything ready to go. I was gonna do it actually this weekend. I was gonna start this weekend. I do it, I'll do usually 1 or 2 in the morning, maybe like 15 cc's each time I do it. And then, so that's maybe like 2 papers, not without having to do it, and when I do, I just either go in the restroom or I'll go to somebody's house right there in the neighborhood that I know that does it. Just they don't have to be around the kids or that can see that, you know, so. But that, I will be honest with you, yes, I am guilty.
I appreciate your honesty. And you know, I don't really care that you're a junkie. I mean, I appreciate your honesty, but know that I don't care that you do drugs. I don't. I mean, I don't think it's good for you. I hope you stop. But know that it's not something that I'm gonna, you know, oh, I'm gonna go, you know, give me a surety, you know, pay for this. Because that's not my concern. My concern is this baby who's hurt. Somebody hurt this baby, okay? And I still believe, you know, you live there, you've been with your wife for years. And this is serious. We're talking about a baby who, you know, went through a lot. Okay? This isn't
What's
just...
wrong with him? Is he okay?
I have to talk with him there, you know, to see what the happening is, but I know it's serious. It's very, very serious. And it's hard, especially with so many people involved. It's hard to keep.
You know, one of the things, Steve, I can tell you is that when in situations like this, a lot of times families, they fall apart in situations like this. When, you know, when you have a serious injury like this. But I can tell you that when we work cases like this, when everything's said and done, the only families that we see that stay together are families that are able to heal after an incident like this. And the only ones that heal are the ones where somebody took responsibility for the injury and said, this is what happened. Because what happens when somebody comes forward and is completely honest with it, with what happened, everybody kind of thinks, okay, they were honest, we can trust them. Because it's when they're not honest, that's when there's always that doubt in the back of their head, like, you know, I know something happened, and they're not telling me the truth, so I'm never gonna trust them. It's when the person tells the truth, when the wife or the husband can then say, okay, they told the truth, I know that they're sorry for what happened, and so I can trust them again. I know they're aware of what drove them to that, so it's not going to happen again. Those are the families that stay together. It's the ones where, you know, the people say, you know what, I don't know what happened, it wasn't me. Those are the families that fall apart. You know, the wife ends up here, the dude ends up there, the kids end up somewhere else, and it's just, there's no healing for the family. And so it's like Detective Mueller said, it's like, you guys, you know what happened. You know the absolute truth about what happened. It's just, it's got to come out. It's got to be put out on the table for you and your family to get past this whole thing and to start the healing process. And I understand it's difficult to talk about because, you know, it's your kids, but like we're saying, you know, people understand that people get frustrated. But we're not quite yet at that point. I feel like you're there, you kind of want to say what happened. But something,
is extremely hard for multiple people to keep alive straight.
When you're only one person, it's difficult for me to mind, that's just me, because I have to coordinate a line between several different people. It's not that work. Especially in this.
I just heard her getting upset, getting mad. When I asked her, she told me that she spanked him. I guess she got upset and snapped him around.
What is it that you heard?
I just heard her screaming at him, why do you kill yourself, why you keep doing this, why you keep lying? And Omaree was saying, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm not gonna lie no more, I'm not gonna lie no more. I heard her say that, and I heard her getting upset. I heard her getting a little bit more upset, or I heard like, I don't know if she'd get him, she'd grab him and try to put him to the floor or whatever happened. Cause I heard like somebody falling, and that's when I told her, hey, Cynthia, what's wrong, what's going on there? You guys need to relax, man, kick back. I told her, it's not that serious, just relax. And then like, it seemed like everything calmed down for a second, and then they would escalate again, to then yelling again. Cynthia yelling again, and yelling back at her, so forth and so on. And I heard a couple little stumbles, like maybe they're wrestling, or he was trying to get aggressive with her, and she had to restrain him. Maybe after she spanked him, he got mad. But sometimes he has tried to fight her back. And he's been won a couple times. He's tried to do that. Tried to put his hands to her, trying to kick her. He's trying to do whatever he can do to get away from her. He's trying to bite her. You know what I mean? He's been aggressive like that, and she's had to do whatever she's had to do to restrain him. Well, but I mean, everything in the past has been okay. And so when I came out of the restroom, and I didn't hear nothing no more, I just heard like everybody like kind of like freaking out. And I'm like, what the hell's going on over here, man? What's wrong? Because usually if they argue like that or whatever, they come on and everybody's fine. It's usually have mine come down in the bed or whatever, laying down, having him or sitting down on the couch talking with him or whatever. But today I just don't know what actually happened, escalated or what.
Well, what was the delay? I mean, I understand that you heard them kind of yelling at each other, probably a couple spankings mixed in there. But what was did you come out while the yelling was, or did you start to come out while the yelling was going on? Was there some kind of a delay? What, you know?
See, I think I did come out one time. I stopped what I was doing and I came out and I made sure everybody was all right. I looked in there. And she was just arguing with him, and he was laying on the bed. I remember saying, Mom, I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be good. And I remember she was just over him, just yelling, and I told her, baby, quick. I went in and I tried to grab her and told her, relax, honey, relax, just leave him alone. Just let everybody calm down, just everything was gonna be fine. Go sit over there and relax. Let me finish what I'm doing, and let me use the restroom, and then when I come out, I'll make sure everybody's okay. Because I'm usually always right there. And when I'm around, there's nothing that has ever occurred like this ever. Like I say, it was in the restroom. So then I went back to the restroom, and I thought everything was okay. Then I heard her get up and start yelling again at him. And I heard a few like tumbles, like if they were wrestling or whatever on the floor, or whatever they may have done. I don't know. I didn't ask her. She just told me that she was trying to spank him. That she was on the floor. He was trying to fight her back because she was on the floor with him. But she actually did say he did get up and run to the horse. And I don't know what, I guess he jumped on the horse, maybe trying to play, and she was trying to go get him or something, and he fell off. I don't know. He really didn't get on the horse or fall off the horse. I know that was really for sure.
I didn't know that was for sure.
She told me. She had told me. But like I said, in between, I heard him yelling and screaming, but I could still hear Omaree talking. So I thought everything was cool, you know? Because usually I just sit in here, if I hear anybody, what they're doing, if it's getting out of control, or, you know, it never has, but I like to listen just to make sure. Because I know Cynthia, she gets upset sometimes, and she's on him or what, if she fell on him or what she was doing. But I interviewed her that a few times, and that's really not helping. She didn't really say much more than that. She was just freaking out.
Was it baby crying? Was it word crying?
He wasn't crying. Mine doesn't cry. When he gets in trouble, whenever we have to spend the money, mine will not cry. I will not cry. He'll just, he'll whine a little bit, and that's it. And then he'll stop. And he says, everything's funny. He hardly ever cried, that kid. Honestly, I've never seen him cry. I didn't really shed tears, that kid. That's why I knew something was wrong with him and he needed help. But like I say, I noticed him there. They got kind of aggressive with each other on the floor, so I don't know exactly what happened. She didn't tell me exactly what happened. She didn't tell me. And I kept asking her over and over, what happened, Lee? What happened? Why is he not responsive? What is going on here? I said, you need to call the ambulance. You need to call 911. And she kept getting on the phone. And I was thinking she called 911, but I guess she was calling my daughter to try to come get the kids first. And she tried to call Tia and Sonia, which is the kids' godparents. And like I said, it didn't really seem like it was no hour or 2 hours before the ambulance got called. There's no way it could have been that long. Honest to God, there's no way it could have been that long. Because I was there. After I got out of the restroom, I was there. It seemed like it was a minute in the shower, a couple of minutes in the shower, looked back, got him back. I see my first got out of the restroom, he was over by the horse. And she was trying to get him to stand up, and he was kind of like unresponsive already. He was standing up a little bit, and then he fell back down on the bush. I said, what's wrong, Mark? Get up. What's wrong with you? And she said, he fell off the horse. I don't know what's wrong with him. He hit his head on his mouth. He didn't know he was coming to me. And I tried to pick him up and hold him up and see if he was all right. And he looked at me for a minute and said, I said, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? And he got moved on and just like in and out. And then he would look at me again and tell me, are you okay? He said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. And he was going back and forth. I was so, I thought maybe he was faking for a minute there, and then I finally realized that no, he's not faking it, there's something wrong with him.
Well, you need to break, and I'll see about that smoke.
Do you have any? Because I don't smell it. Do you have smokes?
No, actually, the officer that was out here, I don't know if he's still out here, he said he had one for me.
He smokes? Okay.
No, he don't smoke, but he said he has some cigarettes in his car.
What's that one?
Wilford or something, Wilford.
What's going on here?
Do you need the restroom or anything?
You have some smoke? You said you have smoke?
I think I have some, I was smoking, I think I was only making a cigarette.
I think you're all right. Just ready to sleep.
Yeah.
You want to,
I'm not going
you
to.
got a razor on now, you want to get
I'm not going nowhere. I'm here cooperating with you guys, but I don't have no reason to run.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, just come on down, okay? And then go back down, okay? Thank you, sir.
You guys take me to the head, to the restroom.
Thank you. We'll be okay with this one if you want. Okay? Thank you.
So we need a special person.
Okay? There you go. There are people who want it. You speak Spanish?
We'll go in this room and talk a little bit more, okay? Did that cigarette help at all? Did it help a little bit?
to keep a line between saying and people, okay? He did, talk to his wife, and she told us some things, and he did some things, and so we want to talk to you about those things. Tell me about how you got that, tell me how Omaree got that burn and stuff. There's a little circular burn right there. Okay, and then there's three that look exactly like that. It's not a scar, it looks more like this hot layer of skin. Somehow taken off. Tell me about that. Okay, but 3 times? He's got 3.
Can you imagine somebody running down the hall and running at you for the cigarette? Of course, when you run into a cigarette, it's not going to just leave one mark. Because when you hit me, you ran into me pretty hard in the dark. So like, the ashes kind of went everywhere. I know the ashes from the tip of the cigarette was burnt. So it must have just keep burning a few times from that. That's all it was.
Yeah, that doesn't seem logical, because there are 3, they are closer together, but if you, it happened when you said, there would be like, they wouldn't be so perfectly.
Well, that's exactly how it happened. Honest to God. Honest to God. I'm nothing about you about. I'm nothing to say nothing about. That's exactly how it happened.
How would the children say that happened?
They don't even know about it.
Okay, I guess you talked about it, you know, or you could have talked about it.
No, I don't even talk about it because it wasn't a big deal. I seen it. It just looked like a little tiny bird.
And when did that happen?
Somebody happened a couple days ago.
Well, there's one that matches him exactly, the same sort of, circle right above his lung.
That's a bit of scar that he's had right there. He picks it and I hear a lot. That's a scar that he had right there. I don't know where he got that from. He likes to pick at himself underneath here all the time.
Some of the stuff that your wife was telling us, she told us about actually how she hurt Omaree, and she described it in detail, what she did to him. And there's no reason for us to doubt what she said, because her explanation fits what the injuries are. But now, given what she has told us, the timeline of, how she was yelling at him, how she kicked him, and that kind of thing. I want to hear from you the truth now about what you overheard them talking about, and what your version of what happened after you guys, after he was actually hurt. Like who was called, how long it took before the ambulance was called, the conversations you guys had about what really happened. Because like I said, she now has told us that she kicked him, she caused him to fall back on his head and that kind of thing. And along with that, she told us how everything played out. So we're back to giving you the opportunity to now come across as the truthful person and giving us the same truth or layout, the timeline as she did.
Like I told you when I was in the bathroom, what I heard was I heard Omaree guy or whatever, I think I did it a little bit too hard, and he fell back. And then, because like when I came out again, like I said, he was over there by the horse. That's exactly where he was at.
Mhm.
So I went over there and picked him up to see if he was okay. He was still kind of like in and out of it, like, he was a little bit responsive, but not as much as he should have been. He started getting a little bit more, going out of consciousness a little bit more as it went on. But like I said, he was a little bit responsive. That's why I didn't tell her to call me something immediately until I really knew. And I said, you know what, there's something wrong here. This kid is not coming back. He's not responsive. There's something that's not right. So yes, call the ambulance. Call anyone. They call it. You need to call them. And I asked her what happened. What happened? Like you said, I didn't do nothing. I just gave him like I usually do. I gave him a few little $1,000 and that was about it. But I think I did it a little bit too hard this time. And I said, yeah, because he shouldn't be like that. Maybe he shouldn't be like that at all.
Mhm.
Because usually, you know, he's done it before, yeah, he's okay, you know, cry for wine for him, and then he's fine. But this time he just wasn't fine. He just wasn't coming out of it.
And then, again, you know, keep in mind that she's already told us, about the conversations after, you guys saw that, hey, he's got some serious issues going on here. What was the timeline there? I mean, when you guys decided, when you came out of the bathroom and saw that he was by the horse and he was hurt, what do you think she told us about how long it took before 911 was called?
What she was going to do, what happened, I guess. We just tried to get him back responsive. We took him to the shower. We tried to get him responsive in the shower. He wouldn't come back. We took him back to the bed. We laid there with him. We tried to get him. I tried to breathe for him. She tried to breathe for him a few times. We put the oxygen on him. I tried to do little compulsions. We put the CPR thing. He wasn't coming back. He wasn't coming back. I told her, call him. She didn't want to call the ambulance. You're going to have to call the ambulance, babe. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. You need to call them. Or we need to take him to the hospital. One or the other. And she was trying to call my daughter, like I said, for the kids. She was concerned about the kids also. The babies, she didn't want them to be there. But I guess we have evidence and stuff back there. So she was trying to get my daughter to go get them. My daughter told her that she couldn't go at the time because she was there with my mom, taking care of my mom. So,
Why didn't you call 911?
because I didn't know where the phones were at. I didn't know where my phone was at. I didn't know where her phone was at. I don't know if she had, I think she had one of the phones in her hand. I don't know if it was a home phone or one of our cell phones. It might have been mine or her cell phone. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
And I didn't snap. She had the phone there, and that's why I kept telling her, call 911, call the ambulance, call 911.
You know, one of the issues that I have is that you knew what when you came out of the bathroom, she told you that she had kicked him, maybe she kicked him a little too hard. If you had made that information available to 911, then they would have known right away what was wrong with him, and they can start to treat him for the kick injuries instead of trying to figure out what is going on with this kid. So potentially you could have made the proper treatment happen a lot sooner. You know what I'm saying? If you had just taken a phone from her and said, I'm calling 911.
Or even tell us a lot sooner.
Yeah, that's true too. I was just paranoid. I was scared. At the same time, this is my life we're talking about here. I'm not, and my kids, at the same time, I'm not, and I don't know what to do. I didn't really know, and of course, yes, the lady should have came forward first, and I should have said that instead spoke up and said something. But, I mean, they had her and they didn't know. So I
I believe that, you know what happened, she told you what happened, she admitted it. So what do you think?
I think that she should have did what she did, of course, and then when she was in the wrong. And then, of course, at the same time, like you guys said, I should have spoke up or sooner, or said something to 911 sooner. But like I said, everything was going happening so fast, my mind was going so much, so speedy, and I didn't know what to do. I was panicking, I was freaking out. So I guess you could say I should have been one man stepped up and when I should have right away and wait until now. I don't know, I just didn't know what to do. I was just so confused and just so scared. I didn't want nobody to get in trouble, and I didn't want nobody to, I didn't want this to even happen. I could just put it over and over my head and hoping that it was just not really happening, or it was just, oh my God, I just didn't know. And when I see all the cops up there and everything, it really took my baby, but
I was just gonna say, that what she ended up telling us about the cigarette burn is very different from what you're telling us.
it was different. How was it different?
That it wasn't an accident. And she's been truthful about everything else. I mean, it doesn't make sense that she wouldn't be truthful about that.
I've never been married to, honest to God, I was not lucky to like to involve. That's exactly what happened. She knows it and I know it. We were running down the hallway, we bumped into my cigarette, and the stuff went everywhere, so it must just sparkled out and fall a couple more places than one. And that's where it was. And you can even ask Omaree, when Omaree is, hopefully everything's okay, and he will tell you exactly what happened with that. That is exactly what happened. I've never hurt none of my kids ever. I've never ever had to get physical or abusive or nothing like that with none of my kids ever.
Why is it treated so differently than the other two? I mean, he seems so poor versus the other kids.
No, it's not that it's different. It's just that the last couple of weeks they had to watch him, so we leave him in there to sleep on the floor. The other baby sleep in his bed and the other one sleeps on the couch. Sometimes Mario sleep on the couch, but he likes to sleep on the floor rather than sleep on the couch. He's more comfortable there. And then when we that, he has a bad problem with in the bed. So therefore we put a mat on the floor for him. Put a bunch of blankets and make his bed on the floor. So that way he doesn't, because he wets himself like almost every day. And he has medicine for it, and he still waits till the morning, and then he'll pee right when we get up in the morning. Like right when it's time to get up and get going, we'll go fill it, and he'll say, did you pee my glass of water? No. And why didn't pee? I didn't pee. And she'll fill it, or I'll fill it, and it'll be hot, like he just peed. So that's another reason why they put him on the floor, because of him peeing everywhere, peeing on the bed, peeing on the couches where we begging him to rest. He just has a bad problem peeing everywhere. So that's therefore the last couple of weeks we've had him on the floor.
So I know that she knew she was scared, and that's why she didn't tell us. You were scared. I understand. So we know we're a long time away from when the kid was injured, and was unresponsive to when 911 was called. Okay. As Detective already told you, we spoke to children. Tell me about the coaching that went on with the kids. Saying anything, or what story was given to the kids, like, to get them online, about not saying about mom, because they saw it. So tell me about that. Tell me about the conversations the kids were given
what was the motivation behind that?
Because I'm scared. I'm scared for my wife and for everyone.
No, I mean, what is the motivation that you give the children to not say anything?
Nothing, I just told her, I just said, just, I don't see nothing about what happened. You'll be all right, guys, you'll be all right, because they asked me, they're scared, you know, gonna go anywhere, I know they're gonna keep us, they're gonna stay with us. And I told them, no, I'll be right here with you, don't worry. Just as long as you won't say nothing, everything will be fine.
And did you tell them what to say?
No, I just said not to say nothing. Not to say what happened, and with mom and Mark. I said, did you see what happened? And they said, yeah. And, well, Steve doesn't really know. He was on more or less, but I told her, did you see anything? She said, yeah, I know that mom was getting out of Omaree, but I just told her, people just don't say nothing. If they ask anything, then you don't know nothing.
Did you threaten her at all?
No.
And what conversations did your wife have with these children?
Nothing that I could see.
Okay. So only you told them, hey,
We're back in the room after, back to, their pay.
okay.
I just told you that. I didn't tell Steve, I just told you one time.
So what do you tell her then?
I just told her not to see it. I said, if you ask anything, just don't say nothing now, like that. You can be here and you won't have to go to work, okay? I know you're scared and I'm scared too, so just don't say that.
And what did she say?
Just don't keep it. I'll be that better than that.
Okay, so, we're almost done, we're gonna have someone come in, switch your clothes out, to see if there's any blood on your clothing. So, it'll be almost done, we'll just speak to that one. These clothes and like a bunny suit, because we need to, because that's evidence basically, so.
Why go to jail?
I didn't say that, no, I didn't say that. We just need, this is evidence and we need to collect it, okay? So.
But you did not say it though, either.
I did not say it. As of right now, I don't think so, okay? But I'm going to talk with the people, the other detectives that are in the room, so we'll see, okay?
All right, Detective Quillman.
Yes.
What were some of the contradictions you saw in the interview that the defendant said?
Well, there were quite a few contradictions. From his initial statement, his initial statement was actually very similar to what the mother told us, as far as he woke up about 12:30, he left the house and went to a friend's house to work on the car.
Your Honor, may we approach?
All right, Detective Quimman. And so what were some of those contradictions that you noted, some of the important contradictions in his story?
A lot of the contradictions had to do with the time that certain events happened. Like when he said he initially left the house to go to his friend's house. That changed kind of further on into the interview. Of course, we found out further on in the interview that he actually never left the house. That's a glaring contradiction. Some of the other contradictions included what the mother told him had happened while he was in the bathroom. It changed several times through the interview. First going from he fell off the horse to, well, I heard some yelling, and then further on he said, well, I heard some thumps, some what sounded like wrestling. So those contradictions. He talked about some of the stuff that they did as far as the CPR and some of the measures they were trying to get him to come back around. Initially, I think he said Omaree woke up once, and that was in the shower. And then a little bit later, he said, well, he woke up a couple times, and he would say some things. And then he also talked about initially that he immediately, as soon as he came out of the restroom, he told her to call 911. In the interview, you could see that later he talked about how they talked about what actually happened, and then he talked about the again taking Omaree to the shower. He stood him up in the shower. He took him to the bed. He made a statement that they laid with Omaree on the bed, and then he started different CPR measures. Yeah, it was almost just throughout his whole interview there were additions and contradictions, and it just seemed odd.
Were the initial versions, as told by Cynthia and Stephen to you, similar?
Yes.
And how did that strike you?
It struck me as, of course, that maybe it wasn't completely truthful, because later on in his interview, of course, he started in with all his contradictions and changes in detail and that kind of thing.
All right. And did you see the defendant at the end of the recording? It talks about the defendant changing into what was referred to as a bunny suit.
Right.
Did you see the defendant in the bunny suit?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to view his hands during the interview and when he was in the bunny suit?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 75. May I approach that? Do you recognize that photo?
I do.
How do you recognize that photo?
This is one of the photos that the field investigator came in and took of Mr. Casaus.
And what's being shown in that photo?
His hands.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of him on that day?
Yes.
And at this point, is it still December 27th or is it now December 28th?
It's early morning, the 28th.
Just wanted to make sure when we said this day, which day we were referring to. All right, at this point, I'd like to move for the admission of State's Exhibit number 75.
I'm sorry, I missed that part. Moving to admit? No objection.
Will be admitted without objection.
May I publish on it? And what do you notice about the hands in that picture?
They appear swollen and red.
May I have just a moment? After the day of the interview, did you have any further interaction with the defendant?
No.
Did you provide any follow-up investigation as part of this case?
I think the only other thing I did was I made a phone call to a doctor's office.
Okay. All right. And at this point, we'll pass the witness.
Yeah, come forward first, so. So neglecting you over here, aren't we? Well, we have, we just take a little bit of a break. We sat for a long time. So sorry about that. So let's just take about a 10-minute break, if that's okay? Looks like we're gonna go through a good part of the hour. All right? City Vice Principal.
afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Just so we can get an idea of the time frame that this interview took place with Mr. Casaus. Let me bring it down, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's probably better. Just so we can get an idea of the time frame when this interview took place with Mr. Casaus. This interview with him, with Mr. Casaus, took place in the early morning hours of December 28th, correct?
Correct.
And when when the video started, what was shown to the jury, Mr. Casaus had actually been in that interview room for several hours, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how long, but for a while.
Long enough for him to actually fall asleep in there, correct?
I don't know if he was sleeping.
Okay, so you don't recall walking in there and he was actually sound asleep?
Yeah, he might have been. I just don't remember right now.
And that wasn't important for you to take note of?
No, he woke up fine.
Okay. And this interview took place approximately 10 to 12 hours after this initial incident with Omaree, correct?
Maybe 10 hours after we were called.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So about 4 in the morning?
That's possible, yeah. Maybe 3, 4 in the morning.
All righty. And when you were just speaking with the state about your qualifications, you indicated that you are a detective, right?
I'm not currently a detective. At the time I was.
You were a detective then?
Yes.
And you were a detective specifically in the crimes against children?
Correct.
And you had to go through special training to be in that unit, right?
Yes.
And take a special test?
Yes.
And you did all those things and you became a detective, right?
Correct.
And you brought all that training and all that experience and the test, you took that and you brought that to the interview with Mr. Casaus?
Yes.
You also brought all that training and experience to your interview with Cynthia Varela Casaus?
Yes.
And Miss Varela Casaus confessed to kicking Omaree, right?
Yes.
During your interview with her.
Correct.
But Mr. Casaus did not confess to injuring Omaree, correct?
Correct.
And as a result of your interview with Mr. Casaus, that lasted several hours, right?
Yes.
Longer than what we saw on TV here.
The interview itself?
Correct?
No, it would have been what you saw on
Okay.
TV.
But there were portions of time that there was no one in there talking to him and Mr. Casaus is just sitting there, right?
Correct.
Okay. And despite this amount of time that you and Detective English spoke with him, and despite the sort of changes in story you discussed with the jury a few minutes ago, and despite what you say you described as his hands being puffy, you actually escorted Mr. Casaus out the door, right?
Yes.
You said, "You're free to leave, Mr. Casaus," right?
Yes.
But not Cynthia Varela Casaus, right?
That's right.
She was actually, you had enough and you arrested her that night.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked and already entered as State's Exhibit 75. Now, the purpose of putting Mr. Casaus in that white suit is to, that bunny suit, is to take his clothing for evidence, correct?
Yes.
Because clothing can hold DNA.
Yes.
It can have blood,
Right.
saliva,
Yes.
skin,
Yes.
and all those things, blood, saliva, and skin, can be tested for DNA, right?
Yes.
And that was the purpose of putting Mr. Casaus in that white suit, right?
So we could collect his clothing.
Okay. And you did collect his clothing.
Yes.
And there was nothing found on his clothing that indicated he had anything to do with Omaree's death, correct?
I don't know, I'm not familiar with that part of the case.
So let's talk about Mr. Casaus's hands, right? You described them as being sort of swollen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Now, likewise, just like clothing, you can test clothing or pencils or cigarettes or remote controls for DNA, right? You can also test hands for DNA, can't you?
Yes.
It's actually a pretty simple test. It's take a swab and run it over the fingers or over the knuckles, right?
Yes.
Takes about 10 seconds.
Probably.
And you had Mr. Casaus, as we've established, here at this police station for hours, at which time, much of the time, he was just sitting there. And you never took this Q-tip and ran it over his hands, did you?
I don't take DNA samples.
Did Mr. Casaus have DNA samples taken of his hands at your direction?
No, I don't.